Hi there and welcome to a late June, early July look around plot 15 and plot 16. As you know, I've been away walking in Wainwright's coast to coast, so I haven't been up here for 2.5 weeks. You can see there's a lot of weeds, but some crops like these onions are doing really well. The first early potatoes look like they need digging up. This is the best crop of apples we've ever had. The squashes are flowering and the Kohl Rabi are getting quite large. Now let's have a good look around plot 15. Quite weedy, and obviously I've left some potatoes in because we've got potatoes growing. The two courgette plants that are placed in this screened off area are both looking pretty good. Obviously some rogue potatoes have been left in this bed here, but the broad beans are looking reasonably good. They did get black spot, but yes, we've got quite a few beans coming on there. The next bed, which is a brassica bed, I cut down the mustard before I left, but obviously I didn't do a very good job because a lot of it's still flowering, so I need to get in there and get that going. The brassica bit, which is the Kohl Rabi, which are doing really well. We've had quite a few of those. We're going to try and make Kohl Rabi chips out of them tonight, so that would be interesting. But all the other brassica bits are doing really nicely. They look really healthy. The Romanesque are looking pretty good, getting their telltale shape. The Calabres are coming along, but are only an inch across, so they've got some growing to do yet. Now let's have a look around plot 16. Well, straight off, tomatoes that I've planted outside are looking pretty good, and we've got quite a lot of flowers on those, so there'll be time to feed those. I'll have to make some more comfrey tea, but I have got some tomato feed. Before I went away, the leeks definitely needed planting out, so I roughly put them in the ground, and I'll replant these ones here, but they're all looking pretty good. And I've got another big clump over here as well. So assuming that they transplant all right, which they should do, we're going to have a good crop of leeks this year. Over here is some beetroot. Not doing too badly, I suppose. I have quite a few more in the greenhouse that will need planting in. As you can see, there's quite a lot of weeds there, so we're going to do a lot of weeding today, I think. And sweet corn wise, yes, that's looking pretty good. It's comes up to about my knee, so reasonable height, but they are looking pretty healthy as they go. Also in this bed here, we've got some garlic. As you can see, the garlic is just about over. It dies off now, so it'll be time to lift the garlic, which you do by just putting a trowel or fork underneath and banging any of the excess earth off. As you can see, the cloves are formed pretty well, so it looks like we'll get a good crop here. I'll probably put this in the greenhouse because it'll dry out a lot better in there because it's warmer. I've also got 3 squash plants in here which are doing reasonably well. They look okay, and no flowers on these ones though. This brassica bed in plot 16 looks like it's been taken over by the weeds, but we have a reasonable size cauliflower there that we can cut today, and there's quite a few other ones coming along. Second early potatoes are doing pretty well on plot 16 as well. We've got this bed here, and they're all looking pretty healthy, as do all the plants in this bed here. As I've already shown you, the onions are doing pretty well. I'll just pull one up there, and you can see, yes, a reasonable size one there. These all need all pulling or digging up, much the same as the garlic, and then just drying off. The first earlies look like they're over, so I think it's time to put a fork under them and lift them. Right, let's see what we get. Yep, It's Not too bad a one. Oh, it's been eaten, so it's a bit disappointing. That's better. Yeah, nice one. Let's see what else we've got in this one. Another nice one. Obviously these are going to be small potatoes because they're first earlies. So yep, another nice one, just about the right size, and another one. So job for today is to dig the rest of the row, leave the other ones, and that will keep us going for a little while, and then I can dig up fresh ones. This brassica bed's not looking too weedy, and see, we've got some small cauliflowers there, and the actual cabbages, they're doing okay. Obviously I'll need to weed between those as well. This year I've also started to grow some flowers, and they're looking really nice, and there's some hollyhocks at the back as well. The excess ones I'll be taking home to the garden. Right, so let's go down and have a look at the greenhouse. Before I left, I managed to get the watering system going for the tomatoes. As you can see, they're all doing pretty well. They're up to sort of chest height, so that's pretty good. My wife's been watering in here, so stuff's looking not too bad. We've got some very straggly lettuces, but they're all right. The basil's not too bad. Could be better, but otherwise is okay. I also have grown some more spring onions in modules. They look like they need a good soaking, but they're all right. And the carrots that I put out all got eaten, so just before I went I put in some carrot seeds, and they're looking pretty good. So I might leave them a little bit longer, and then we can plant those out. And I was saying about beetroot, I sow 5 seeds every week, and that should give us a good succession. But yeah, so they're looking pretty good. And down on the floor down here, I was talking about growing some flowers. These are wallflowers, and they're looking reasonably good as well. Right, so that's all. I just noticed there that we've got some flowers coming on the tomatoes, so it'll be time to add some liquid feed into the pots. Another tip for increasing the number of tomato plants you've got is to look for these side shoots that come off here. This is the main stem, and then you've got your leaf that comes off here, and you've got these here, and you're supposed to pinch those out. But if you actually pinch them out and place them into a container of water, they actually root themselves, and then you can then plant them out. As I said earlier, the apple tree is heavily laden with fruit. This is a good time of the year just to thin it out. Obviously, if I have three apples there, they're not all going to grow to full size like these ones here, so I'll have to pick one off. It does it naturally, and as you can see, there's quite a lot of apples down there, but it's best to go around and just do it again. Pear wise, they're coming along really nicely. Yeah, they're doing really good. And in here is my comfrey feed. I need to make some more of that, use that for watering the potatoes. Unfortunately, the red onion bed is really more weeds than onions, I think, but there are a few coming along. So yeah, it's going to take me quite a while to weed all this lot, I think. Globe artichokes are doing really nicely. We often let these go to seed, but they're actually quite tasty, so perhaps we'll take a few of those home and get those cooked up. You've seen the potato bed over there already, and over here in the corner is my comfrey plants. So I need to just chop those up and put them in that big grey bucket and fill it with water, and then leave it a couple of weeks. It stinks to high heaven, but makes some really nice feed. Plum wise, we're going to have a good crop this year. Probably need thinning as well, a bit like the apples do. And finally, in this bed here we have some more squashes in with all the weeds, but they're trailing pretty good. I did pick up a tip that once they start flowering, like this one here, you can see that actually there's a fruit coming. It's worth cutting these these runners off to help swell the plants. But I noticed that there's actually one there, so probably it's not worth cutting it off there. It's probably worth cutting off further down. You do sacrifice some of the fruits, but the fruits that you do get will be larger, of course. Right, let's go up and see what the fruit cage has been up to. Gooseberry wise, we've got 1 or 2 gooseberries. Yeah, they're still very hard, and the red variety are doing pretty well. They're also a little hard at the moment, so we might have to leave those a little while. For sure I need to get the net on top of this fruit cage fairly shortly, because the red currant bushes are pretty laden with berries that are just about to turn, which will encourage the blackbirds. And also the black currants are starting to colour up as well, so they'll need covering up. All in all, I think the allotment has survived pretty well. Obviously there's a fair bit of weeding to do, especially in the brassica beds. I need to dig up my row of potatoes, so we've got some potatoes this week. Dig up the onions and garlic and get those dried off. Collect some Kohl Rabi so I can have some Kohl Rabi chips tonight, and maybe cut a cauliflower or 2. Hope you found this interesting, and I'll be doing another update in August. So from Pot 16, goodbye, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.